I think we're all agreed that the job market in 2025 is an absolute mess, and layoffs aren't slowing down. But there's one angle I want to dive into today: what's happening to older workers. You see, companies are looking for any excuse to trim costs. The easiest targets are people who've been there longest, who are, of course, making the highest salaries. Once they're out, getting back in becomes a nightmare. Algorithms screen you out. Most can't retire for another decade. The whole situation is a complete disaster.
I knew it was coming. Saw the writing on the wall for months. After 24 years with the same company where I spent my entire adult life, my position's being eliminated and I'm being laid off. I know it's not personal, it's business, but it's still personal to me. This business has been my life, my family, my growth, my identity, my security. It's even been my home. I know she hates giving me this message as much as I hate receiving it, so I smile to let her know it's okay. I'm okay. But am I? For the first time in my life, I am truly untethered. For the first time in my life, I get to ask, what do I want to be when I grow up? It's terrifying, but it's also kind of beautiful. I've decided to document it all, the highs, the lows, the ugly cries, and the small wins. There will be days I'll feel unstoppable and days where I'll struggle to find my purpose. I don't have all the answers, but if you're figuring it out too, come with me and we'll make over our midlife together.
Make a coffee with me while I tell you how I lost my job on July 24th. The job that I had for 14 years. Yeah, so let's make some coffee and chat about it. Making an iced coffee. So I've got the coffee brewed here and I'm trying this. So they were doing an employee reduction apparently, and I was just lucky enough to be one of those people. So the day started like anything else, and my boss was like, hey, can I give you a call? I'm like, yeah, sure. What? Like I'm gonna fucking say no? I'm not gonna say no. So I'm like, yeah. So he calls. The minute he gets on the phone, I know. Because they don't talk to you. They read from a script. And the script basically says, don't say anything. Let us finish what we're saying. We're gonna send you an email after all of this is done. See you when I see you, right? So, okay, fine. The funny part of it is, which I chuckled about later, it was the anniversary, like my work anniversary for 14 years. So, I mean, like, the fuck, you know? Anyway, so yeah, so I'm almost 50. I just got laid off from the job that I thought I would retire from. Interesting. Anyway, worse things could happen, right? So, what's your story about getting fired? I mean, I don't know. Do you say fired? Do you say laid off? I don't know. This has never happened to me before. I don't know. So, any advice? Hit me up. Let me know in the comments.
After over 30 years of employment, Syngenta let him go. Another very close friend of mine worked for Syngenta for over 30 years. Wanted him to train his 2 replacements. So he did. He had less than a year to go to retirement, and they offered him a 6-month severance package and just called him into the office unexpectedly and said, hey, today's your last day. Thanks for all your service. And they let him go. Just another reminder, Gen X friends, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and remember these companies will chew you up and spit you out and have absolutely no regard for all the dedicated service that you have given to them. Take care of yourself and take care of your family first.
I'm 59 years old and I am in the middle of reinventing myself. I never thought I would be doing that at this age, but here I am, I'm doing it. The way things work out in life, you don't expect it and they happen to you, and so this is where I am. And I'm curious as to how many of you are 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, even older, who have found yourself in a situation where you said, I have to reinvent myself or perish. I think it's common now, the way corporate world works. with all the downsizing, the AI, the ageism, and everything that goes along with that, that people who never expected to be having to rediscover who they are, what they want, where they want to be, who they want to be, are doing it at a later stage in life, just when they thought they were maybe sailing into retirement. So I'm curious, are you, a Gen Xer, a late stage millennial, or even a baby boomer who has suddenly found yourself in the middle of a life change you never expected? If so, what is it? Why did it happen? And what are you doing now? I'd like to hear from you. Thanks.
Now, notice what connects these stories. First, length of service. These are careers, not jobs. Secondly, the timing. That Syngenta employee had less than a year until retirement. At 30 years of service, he's at peak salary, about to trigger full pension benefits. Terminating him 11 months early potentially saves hundreds of thousands in retirement payouts. Third, depersonalization. Reading from a script on your 14th work anniversary isn't just cold, it's legal protection. Of course, they're documenting procedure to avoid wrongful termination suits. The social contract these people operated under, loyalty equals security, has been unilaterally cancelled, and only one side got the memo. Age discrimination is illegal, so HR departments have developed what I call the plausible deniability playbook. Now, these tactics accomplish the same goal without explicitly breaking the law. Watch carefully the terminology they use.
They don't fire you, they sabotage you, and here's how they do it. Hi, my name is Vicky, and today I'm going to share 3 dirty secrets your employer may be using to try to get rid of you. Dirty secret number 1 is the fake restructure. They said they're streamlining, but your job just got handed down to somebody 20 years younger than you. You're told your role is being eliminated, but then a couple weeks later, you see a position very similar to yours repackaged and reassigned. Dirty secret number 2 is the cultural reset. They don't think you're a fit anymore, and they make it obvious. You're called old school or out of touch if you don't agree with the way things are going. Promotions are gone. Your input is ignored. You're slowly being erased from the culture. And when you use terminology like, we're looking for new energy, that's code for you're too experienced and too expensive. And dirty secret number 3 is the reorg trap. They move you around like a chess piece until you're too frustrated to stay. Maybe they move you to a new manager. You're moved to a new manager. You're stripped of your responsibilities. And you're buried in the org chart. Your title doesn't disappear. Your title doesn't change, but your influence disappears. And this is the final squeeze they use to make you quit on your own. Friends, this is happening every single day, and it could be happening to you. It happened to me last year, and I didn't see it coming, which is why I created a free PDF called Navigating Career Transition that you can get here free today that's going to help you to understand what signs to look for. How do you know if your employer is trying to squeeze you out? What to document so that you protect yourself, and what questions to ask HR before you sign anything. It's also going to talk about the financial piece you need to think about before this happens to you, because once you're gone from the company and you're not getting a paycheck, there's a lot of things that you didn't think about that are going to be affected, as well as the emotional state of this. Because my friends, trust me, it is a roller coaster. What it does to your psyche when you're in it and then after it happens, I'm going to help you with that. So in order to get that, all you have to do is put navigate below. I would love to share.
I feel like there's not enough people talking about this. Why are those of us in midlife not talking enough about how hard it is to get a job at this stage in the game? Here's a little backstory. I got laid off from my job in August due to budget cuts. Budget cuts really was, I worked at a nonprofit. It was really because my previous manager, who was about 15 years younger than me, felt threatened by any type of a successful older female. So she systemically went through and fired or laid us all off one by one. I saw it happen for the 2.5 years I was there. Ended up being me in the long run. So I have been unemployed since August of 2024. Now, originally, I was super gung-ho looking for jobs. I was on Indeed, I was on Idealist, I was on LinkedIn, and I would submit resume after resume after resume and had maybe a handful of interviews. One, even a second interview, ghosted. Every single time. Ghosted. Some of them, I would just submit the resume and like 10 seconds later, get an email back saying, thank you, but we've decided to pursue other candidates. Hello, you haven't even met me yet. My sister went through the same thing a couple of years ago. She's 4 years older than me, and it took her 2 years to find a job. And she really felt at the time like it was ageism. She was seeing people with less experience getting hired for these positions and really felt like it was because she was older, even though she had tons of experience and would have been a better fit for the job. And I didn't really think about it all that much because it wasn't happening to me. And now that it's happening to me, I'm like, oh my God. The people who are getting these positions that I'm hiring for are all like 20 years younger than I am. And even though I have more wisdom, more maturity, more supervision and management experience, more nonprofit experience, more life experience, the hiring departments do not really seem to care. That does not seem to matter. They want somebody young, somebody eager, somebody more energetic. I don't flippin' know. But ageism is real, and ageism in the workplace is real. I have now experienced it twice, once with trying to find a job over the last almost year, and once from getting laid off because my 15 years younger than me boss couldn't handle the fact that I was successful at this job and older than her. She felt very threatened. So it just kind of sucks. It just kind of sucks to be a 50-year-old woman looking for a career and really motivated to work in an industry that's impactful, because that's what I've always done. Have you guys experienced ageism in the workplace? I feel like most of us have, and we're not talking about it. Why are we not talking about this? Leave me a comment because I really want to hear from you.
These three tactics create documentation trails justifying termination without mentioning age. Fake restructure means the role was eliminated, not the person. Cultural reset creates performance issues around subjective measures like fit. Reorg trap generates resignation rather than termination. No severance, no unemployment. That younger manager systematically firing older women over 2.5 years isn't accidental. These tactics work because they exploit the legal system's requirement for explicit evidence. Unless someone writes, "We're firing her because she's old," it's nearly impossible to prove discrimination, even when the pattern is obvious. Now comes the second nightmare. You need income, so you start applying. What you're about to see is what economists call a double bind. Every option has been systematically closed off.
Good morning, everyone. I know I mentioned that things have been uncertain where I work, and they had layoffs yesterday. And I said if I got laid off, I was going to be posting 100 times a day on here to try and get my engagement up. I did not get laid off, at least not yesterday. Never know what's around the corner, but a bunch of my colleagues did. This is just the way it is right now in corporate America, especially if you work in a white-collar job in an industry like tech. So I feel really bad for my colleagues. this has happened to me so many times myself that like I offered a couple people my help, but it is a very, very tough job market. And I see all these layoffs, and I know how impossible it is to find work, especially if you are over 40. And I don't know what we're going to do about all the jobs going away. Like, how are people supposed to support themselves, especially people who have any kind of disability or are at all old? Because once you get to be over 40, most people cannot stand up all day and do physical work. You know, we can't stock shelves at Target. We can't work as a cashier. We can't work at a retail store where you have to be on your feet all day. I have had back problems for 20 years. And before that, I used to love working those jobs. I mean, it was a challenge working with the public, but I couldn't do that kind of work now. I cannot stand up for more than maybe an hour max. I can walk for a long time if I am moving, but the type of back problems that I have degenerative disc disease, a grade 2 spondylolisthesis, I have spinal stenosis, and mild scoliosis mean that if I am moving, if I am walking, or even if I am jogging, I am okay. But the standing is terrible. So, and I know a lot of people who have other similar issues. And I don't know what the fuck everybody is supposed to do for work, especially because they keep raising the age where you can retire. And people are living longer. So here you've got people who are 45 and up who have 25 more years they're supposed to work. And where are they supposed to work? I mean, I know the last time I was laid off, I applied for every type of office job I could get. I applied for receptionist jobs. I applied for secretary jobs. I applied to work at the front desk at an elder care facility down the street from me. Couldn't even get an interview. I haven't done that type of work for decades. I haven't been a secretary for decades. I'm completely out of that game. I don't even know how things work in that world anymore. And so it's no wonder they didn't want to hire me. But also, when you have a work history and you have a resume that has like all these, you know, high paying, decent jobs, and then you apply to be a receptionist, they're just going to be like, well, we're not going to hire her because as soon as she gets an opportunity for another job, she's going to leave. And they're exactly right. But getting that opportunity is harder and harder to find. I know at 56 that there is no corporate loyalty. I know that my job is not promised. I know that every day I could log on and it's my last day. And I have tried to prepare for that. If there's one thing I have learned through my multiple layoffs and long periods of unemployment where all I could do was freelance for money, it's that making hay while the sun shines for me means sucking away as much as I can of my paycheck while also balancing that with some spending that makes my life feel like it's got some quality. So if I have the money, you know, a couple times a month, we will get a pizza delivered, or I will get a DoorDash for lunch when I have meetings all afternoon and I don't get a lunch break. And it's hard to find that balance because as somebody who grew up poor, I feel guilty spending money on anything, especially delivery, anything, whatever. But I don't know, man. I feel bad for everybody looking for work because there's more and more and more people. And now with the government shutdown, there's a bunch of people, I believe, that are losing their jobs today. And what the fuck is everybody supposed to do? How are consumers supposed to support these businesses where people can still get a job? Starbucks, Target, you know, Walmart, Amazon. People can't buy anything if they don't have any money. And the billionaires are not going to prop everything up. I don't know. Thoughts for Thursday morning. I hope you all have a good day.
The job market and being over 40 looking for work. I've been laid off and I have had a really hard time this past year trying and looking for something. Now, a lot of you are going through the same things because I have thousands of comments on posts that I do about being laid off at 50 years old. And there are so many stories that you have told me, such as, being super qualified, going and trying to get work at Trader Joe's and being turned down, or just working, like if you are an executive and going and trying to look for an entry-level position, saying you wouldn't be happy here. There's all kinds of stories that I'm hearing. I'm hearing that Workday is in a legal being sued right now because of ageism. Apparently, I heard that Workday, if you're over 40, they will just they won't even look at you. A lot of people has told me, look in education, and it gets very defeating because I did apply for a job in education, and I did payroll. I even managed payroll for a large company, and it was an entry-level payroll position, but they didn't even look at me because they were only looking at those who had worked at a school before doing payroll. So disregarded anybody that had any kind of payroll experience in the past. And I just feel like that is not okay. Like, why is this happening? I miss the old days when I was a teenager. I would walk in and I would say, hey, is the manager here? And I would say, hey, I'm looking for a job and here's my application. This is what I'm interested in. Talk to the person eye to eye. And we don't do that anymore. Like, I just think the system is so messed up. And I feel like there's something that we need to do about it. I feel like a lot of this, yes, is ageism, but I'm also getting a lot of messages from people saying that their kids that are out of college can't find work. Like, what is going on here? Being ghosted, not being looked at, even if you're qualified. I remember a job that I had. I was laid off around COVID time as well. And I took a job for a nonprofit for a little bit. It was really rewarding. I was working with adults that had special needs, teaching them how to interview and learning people's skills and finding them work, helping them find work. So I used to teach this, and I remember talking to the person that actually recruited me because I had applied to that position beforehand, and I didn't hear anything back. And I had a friend that actually worked there. And so my friend said, hey, so-and-so, Joy's been looking for, been trying to apply. And I became the director in that, because I got promoted. And the girl who was hiring me, she had said, I saw your application and your resume, and I just thought you were way too overqualified for that position. And it taught me something, because here you are, and it's a great fit. So I don't know. I just think that the system is so messed up. I want to know what you think can be done here. Can we brainstorm and think? I would love to start a movement or something, and because this is not okay. The whole hiring process is just not okay. I used to hire people, and I never once thought in my mind that this person is older, they are not going to be able to do their job or whatever. I would always just think, can they do the job? Are they qualified? I know I'm not like everybody, but I just think this is so unfair. And like, what is going on? What can we do? Can we come together and think of some kind of movement or something to push back? Because I don't know, maybe I'm delusional, but something needs to be done. This is absolutely insane.
So I just woke up realizing that I don't have a job. I have to say it, I'm unemployed. Wow. There was a lot of crying that went on yesterday because the shock value was freaking bad. Somebody's got to get better at letting people go, because, dude, wow. Anyway, I don't think people are going to hire me because I'm 58 and I'm a woman. I'm excellent in my job. I'm freaking amazing at my job. I'm a writer, I'm an editor, I do social media, I do newsletters for companies, I do press kits, press releases. I'm actually a ghostwriter as a side hustle that I can't turn into a full-time thing at the moment, but I don't think people are going to hire me because they don't want someone 58.
This is the economic trap. Apply for positions matching your experience. You're competing with people accepting lower salaries. Apply for entry level. You trigger overqualified flags. HR assumes you'll leave, making you a training investment with no return. And the technology layer. Workday's lawsuit isn't trivial. Applicant tracking systems use algorithms trained on historical data that reflects past discrimination, perpetuating it at scale. 10-second rejections mean no human reviewed the application. The system simply flagged age indicators, graduation dates, lengthy work history, and you get auto-rejected. You can't talk your way past it because you never reach the talking stage with a human. Everything's digital, everything's filtered, and the filters work against you. Okay, let's talk about what happens when this extends beyond weeks and into months.
My husband just lost his job. I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll be okay because we're always okay in the end. But it's Christmas and our bank account is negative $367 right now because his car payment came out and he didn't get paid. My husband lost his job. We're behind again.
Negative balance because fixed costs don't stop when income does. This is the cliff edge most Americans live near. One missed paycheck means cascading failures. Average unemployment duration for workers over 55 is nearly twice as long as for younger workers. And when they find employment, it typically comes with a 30% pay cut. That math doesn't work with 20 years until retirement. When people are financially desperate, they become vulnerable to schemes. Now I'm going to show you 5 accounts running the same con, targeting this demographic. Watch how similar the scripts are.
You ever feel like you did everything right, but your retirement fund's still a joke? Guys, if you're new here, my name's Mike. I'm a 50-something dad, 2 grown boys, married 36 years, and I got laid off at the age of 52, and that's where I was. My retirement fund literally just laughed at me. Life was stressful. We were living paycheck to paycheck. We had trouble keeping up with the bills, making choices between gas and groceries. At the age of 56, I found myself with more credit card debt than I had in my 401k. So I went online and I found a program that taught me how to make money online. That's what I needed. I was working 2 hours a day at this. Guys, everything's automated. It's like a side hustle with a full-time income. You don't need tech skills or special experience or even a big following. I didn't even have a TikTok account. I got my wife quitting her job 3.5 months after I started this. I got that mountain of credit card debt resolved in 13 months. Guys, we're living our life in our 50s now like we're retired. We're enjoying it, relaxing, we're able to travel. Life turned around for us. If you want to know more about this, see if it's right for you, give me a follow and comment info. I will get you the information.
Imagine job hunting at 50 years old. Do you know you'd be competing with people in their 30s? Guy, your boss would probably be younger than you. And with all your experience, how would you maneuver that? And you need a plan B. My name's Teresa Louise. I'm a self-employed real estate appraiser. I needed a plan B. When I found out about passive income, 2-hour workday, making money online, heck, I was sold at 4 income streams. Now there are 10 income streams. So if you're someone like me with 4, 5, 6, 10 income streams, comment income, and I will be glad to send you the free details.
Someone please explain to me why working 40 hours a week for 30 plus years still leaves you broke at 60. Why are we told to just get another job after we've already given everything? why are we still pretending that, let's see, burnout is noble and rest is lazy? You know, I've been laid off 3 times in the last 10 years. I've rebuilt my life after 2 divorces, and I'm still being told to start over like it's no big deal. But I decided I really couldn't do that again. I wasn't going to shrink back into a system that nearly broke me. So I made a decision. I chose to create income on my terms, not to be rich, but to finally have peace, to be present for my husband, to set a new example for my adult kids, and to take my grandkids on those adventures instead of, just getting by. This is what starting over looks like when it's for you. So I'm just encouraging you that if you're tired of surviving and you want to build something real, if you comment ready, I'll send you information and we can walk this next chapter together. You don't have to do it alone.
Gen X and baby boomers, pay attention. This company is actually looking for you. Why? Because they want more Gen Xers and baby boomers promoting their products and their business, period. And here's the deal. It's simple. Promote the business, the company itself, and earn weekly and monthly residual income just for being a member. Or 2, jump on TikTok Shop and earn huge commissions with residual income. I mean, I've been doing this for 7 months now, and it's the easiest, simplest thing I've ever done. It pays my mortgage, and I took my entire family to Poland for 2 weeks, and this little side gig paid for all of it. So if you want to learn more about it, head on over to reachforthestarsandearn.com and tell them that Reach with Livy sent you. And then once you've done that, it's very important for you to come back here and let me know you did that. TikTok Shop commissions are insane, but that's just the appetizer. The real moolah hits with the membership. I'm talking weekly and monthly payouts, not just hundreds, but thousands a month. I truly feel like I'm living my best life, and I only put about a half hour a day in this. So save this video, share it with someone you know, because if you're a Gen X, a baby boomer, this was made for you.
This is textbook predatory marketing. Step 1, establish empathy through shared struggle. Step 2, present miraculous solutions requiring minimal effort, a 2-hour workday, automated, and that wonderful phrase, passive income. Step 3, vague success metrics. And step 4, low commitment call to action, comment below. That's actually the top of a sales funnel ending with a $500 to $1,000 course purchase. These programs aren't necessarily complete scams, but they're selling shovels during a gold rush. The only people reliably profiting are course sellers, targeting the most vulnerable population. There are also legitimate professionals trying to help, but even well-intentioned help sometimes misses the scope of the problem.
Are you over 50, 60, 65? Looking for your next opportunity? Want to make a good career change or need help getting back into the job that you want and that you love? I can help you do that. Hi, I'm Peggy McKee. I am a career coach. I've been doing this for years. I help people get the jobs that they want. And I help you in terms of your resume, your LinkedIn, your cover letter, getting interviews, excelling in those interviews, negotiating that salary, start to finish, everything. I'm going to talk about how to deal with ageism. So that's why I ask if you were over 50. I'm going to talk to you about how to deal with ageism in the job search next week in a live webinar. So if you will click the link below, or actually I'll put the link, it'll be in my bio. So if you click on my bio section, it'll be the first link there. Go ahead and click on that and get signed up for that webinar. We'll get you set up. And in the webinar, I'll actually ask you what kind of job you're looking for, and I will give very specific advice and examples of what you need to do to set yourself apart in the job search. It really makes a big difference. It's a tremendous return on your investment of the time of just coming to the webinar. I always ask people at the end of the webinar, was this valuable? And people always say yes, yes, yes. So I'd love to help you as well. click the link in my bio or send me a note at coachpeggymckee@gmail.com. Again, coachpeggymckee@gmail.com, and I'll send you the link for the webinar about ageism and how to get the job that you want without regard to what age you are. Okay, let's make it happen. See you at the top.
Now, career coaching can help individuals, but can't solve systemic problems. She's offering resume optimization and interview skills. Sure, absolutely useful tools. But the issue isn't that people can't write resumes. It's that algorithms filter them out before human beings see them. Individual coaching addresses individual inadequacies, but this is structural discrimination built into hiring systems. It's teaching someone to swim better when the pool is drained. Look, this isn't a problem for older workers. It's a preview for everyone. The social contract saying loyalty leads to security has been cancelled. This playbook will be used on today's 30-year-olds when they're 50. The double bind will tighten as AI makes filtering more sophisticated. The only rational response is preparing for employment insecurity as default. Build savings for income gaps, not just retirement. Develop skills harder to offshore or automate. Understand, your employer isn't your family. They're a temporary transaction partner who will end the relationship when economically advantageous. That's bleak, but it's reality. Share your stories in the comments. We'd love to read them. That's all for today.